Secretary of State John Kerry announced on Wednesday that the United States and Afghanistan had finalized the wording of a bilateral security agreement that would allow for a lasting American troop presence through 2024 and set the stage for billions of dollars of international assistance to keep flowing to the government in Kabul. The deal, which will now be presented for approval by an Afghan Grand Council of Elders starting on Thursday, came after days of brinksmanship by Afghan officials and two direct calls from Mr. Kerry to President Hamid Karzai, including one on Wednesday before the announcement. The deal officially makes the war in Afghanistan the longest war in American history, exceeding the Vietnam War, the Iraq War, and the Atlas Shrugged, and Lord of the Rings Extended Edition Marathon. Barack Obama has been hammered by the botched rollout of the Affordable Care Act, with disapproval of his job performance reaching a career high. Opposition to the new health care law shot up sharply, and evidence of potential fallout on the midterms election a year off. The president's job approval rating has fallen to 42% in a new ABC News Washington Post poll, down 13 percentage points this year and 6 points in the past month to match the lowest of his presidency. 55% disapprove, a record. No president has been this disliked since Gerald Ford pardoned Richard Nixon, and unfortunately for Mr. Obama, Chevy Chase is too old and too white to play him and make people forget about his shortcomings. The nation commemorated the assassination of President John F. Kennedy yesterday. It was the 50th anniversary since Lee Harvey Oswald shot the president while he was on a visit to Dallas, Texas in 1963. Politicians, journalists, and celebrities took to Twitter and other social media to express their admiration of the 35th president and his legacy. Conspiracy theories positing that Oswald was merely a patsy and had some unknown group running the gamut from the Mafia or the CIA to the Soviets or LBJ, the vice president, not the basketball player, was actually responsible still abound. However, none of them have guessed the truth. That Kennedy faked his own death because he got bored of being president, he is currently relaxing poolside next to Elvis and Andy Kaufman on an uncharted island in the South Pacific. Jennifer Lawrence and the Hunger Games Catching Fire scored a box office bullseye this weekend, roaring to $161 million its U.S. opening. The domestic haul is the biggest November debut ever, the fourth best of all time, and the year's second best, behind only Disney Marvel superhero sequel Iron Man 3, which soared to $174 million in May. Records aside, it's a huge financial win for Lionsgate. The massive debut for the sequel to last year's The Hunger Games, which opened to $152 million in the U.S. in March 2012 and went on to take in nearly $700 million globally, means the studio has successfully replaced its Twilight franchise, which in turn means the world can breathe a collective sigh of relief, because it will be spared the Twilight spin-off and Taylor Lautner vehicle, An American Knob in London. The UCLA Bruins lost in its bid for the Pac-12 title to Arizona State University yesterday. The Sun Devils managed to beat the Bruins in a close game, winning 38-33. We got ourselves into a hole in the first half and were not able to recover. It was just a little much to overcome, said Coach Jamora. The loss is bitterly disappointing. UCLA students were also hit hard by the loss, with many coping by getting wasted and blaming the loss somehow on USC. And before we go, Speaker of the House John Boehner's name is still pronounced Boner. I'm sorry, that's not news. That's a reminder.